So, what we're gonna talk about today is, hold on, okay. So, what we're supposed to talk about today is preparedness and just in case of an emergency with your family and when you're out in public. If you guys got any ideas as far as safety precautions, emergency precautions that you've taken, maybe going through drills with your family, setting up a meeting place just in case, no communication. Because in the wake of this last incident, um, a few days ago that Keith was just talking about, the shutdown of all communications, I think we this is a great time for us to um address preparedness and just in case, because anything at this point can happen, right?
Right. Having a good safe haven or meeting place can help alleviate a good 70 to 80% of the worries that you would have in a situation where you can't get in touch with your loved ones, even if that's just a place that all of you are familiar with and know where it is. It doesn't
Mm.
always have to be a police or fire station or hospital. A lot of cases, those are places you don't want to be in times of disaster. And I know that sounds, but a place where y'all frequent and are familiar with, because if you have it set up like that, it's easier to mentally collect yourself once you get there and you know everybody else can get there or you know where everybody else is coming from when you're there. So,
Okay.
and then as
I know
far as,
I know you got some other tips that being that
yeah,
you in the medical field. But Keith
yeah, where is
Reese,
he?
what Keith Reese, where y'all go?
It looked like Tino disconnected.
Uh I'm mad because you got this Aurora Borealis in the background, man. Damn, I gotta find it. Anyway, look, check this out. So, what you think? What kind of ideas you had?
That's a good place to start, especially with all these people doing this so-called doomsday prepping and getting all these bunkers and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty good idea because it looked like well that's what we headed anyway. And I had a
Mm.
lot of my whole life I had a lot of reoccurring dreams about like the apocalypse. And every time I always find myself trying to make fire. So now, like this just part of my everyday life. Every time I go in the Walmart or the store, I buy a big pack of lighters. And I just have lighters in random places that I go.
Okay, well that's all right. That's a good idea. I might have to go back and revisit Boy Scouts how to how to make a fire without matches or
Yeah, we
lighter.
used to have to use flint and steel.
Yeah, so yeah, those are good things to maybe have and prep with. I don't know what happened to Key. But you remember back in the day, like I don't know if they even do these things in school no more. But back in the day when we was in school, they would do drills, tornado drills, fire drills. All I don't know if they do that, still do that at school. They should be doing it, but I mean, it's not bad to go through the motions. So if an emergency happened, once you like go walk through the whole scenario situation a few times and you run drills, you won't panic in that situation. People are gonna panic, but you won't be the one to panic. You know exactly what you got to do. You done already played the scenario out in your head so many times, it becomes second nature. So it's always to do drills. I know some people in their houses, they go through drills, right? And they play out drills in their house, fire drills, emergency drills. It's not a bad idea to have a quick place to grab your personal documents that you believe that you would need. Have a backpack close to to your closet where you keep your personal documents and important document set. Um, getting a hand radio or getting a battery powered radio, so if communications do go down and people can still communicate through radio frequency, which more than likely it will be still up and running. You can know what to do, how to do it. You know, is it provision set up somewhere that you can go? Those kind of things. Keith,
Yeah.
are you prepared? What's your preparedness preparations that you've doing?
Me and my kids went to a lot of games and stuff together, and so we have protocols in place for so that we don't never panic. We've done everything from house fires to earthquakes. I was involved in 2 earthquakes in my life, and all the tornadoes I was being in. It's prepared me to be prepared for the unexpected, and
Yeah,
being on a high paced job, being a confident person, having to see the unforeseen stuff is another thing. But am I prepared for everything? No. But am I prepared for a lot? Yes. And then I psychologically prepare my kids for those moments. For example, the shooting at the colleges. This is something I studied intensively. There's no way you can stop it. So what do you do? What do y'all do? What do y'all do with your kids in that situation? What do you do?
with me, I haven't prepped my kids because they haven't came earthbound yet. So
They're going to be here. But I'm saying, how do you prepare your family for a loved one?
but that's exactly why we have this conversation.
It's something that was the hardest thing in the world for me to do. And it's hard because my kids are right there at that moment. And Reese won't understand it yet, but this was hard. This was so hard because it's no way to project it or predict it. And Reese, if you don't, you could not send them to West Virginia or Virginia. It can still happen over here. Over there, then it happens at Michigan State where Keyshawn goes.
Yeah.
But luckily, we already had something in place that we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this the only thing you can do, man. Is to the greatest thing that I learned, and this comes from my grandmother, is to remain calm in the most atrocious, uncomfortable situations, and good or prevail.
Yeah.
Don't try to be the hero unless the hero moment presents itself. You understand?
Yeah.
And keeping them calm, man, is the
Yeah,
greatest thing.
Hold that thought, Keith. Count.
Yeah.
So we've already been recording, but you didn't introduce the show. So go ahead and introduce the show. And we'll run back through those questions and scenarios.
Just whenever you're ready, buddy. Whenever you're ready, big guy. If you got stage fright, just a picture of the whole audience naked, bro. That's all you got to do.
What
So
happened?
He ain't got no. I was telling you to introduce the show, and we're gonna go. We'll run through those questions again.
Okay. So yeah, this is episode 3 of Offensive Lines. We got Jill Reese, Michael Fears, Keith Blackstock, and myself. And today we're just talking about emergency preparedness in light of recent events, current events that are pretty much going to shoehorn most of the population into preparing for tragedy, whether they want to or not, because you can't predict what some of these talking heads have planned or what their next move is going to be. So we have to move accordingly to prepare for that. So that's what we'll be talking about.
All right, I didn't prepare the guys for this part of the show. This segment is called Space Weather, and I did not go over this with them, but you guys can chime in. So, what I recently found out is that NASA slash the European Space Agency has found a structure supposedly older than the universe itself. One of the ideas and theories is that this star, which is the structure they're speaking of, might have been a remnant from another galaxy or I'm sorry, another universe, not another galaxy. Now, this does, if in fact this star structure is a remnant of another universe, it verifies the idea and theories of a lot of top scientists and astrologers that we live in a multiverse. Hence, which I think is very interesting that they believe this thing is 16 billion years old, if I'm not mistaken, which they believe the universe, our universe, is 13.5 billion years old. Um, they also theorize that our means of calculating how old space is and how old our universe is might be flawed. But you guys can
I
chime
mean,
in
it
on
is.
that and let me know what y'all think.
Before I let the two geniuses chime in, let the clone chime in. So
Oh my God.
I got something I gotta say is how does NASA know that there's a parallel universe exactly like ours, but time is in reverse there? So if time is opposite of here and there, how did they know this? Unless what? Like they proven this through some kind of test that they did, and they have video evidence that there's some kind of way they found an opposite universe as ours, but time runs opposite there.
Hmm.
So
So
if you
that
get
means,
old, like how would that work? But so if they know certain things like this, then they know a lot more than what they've told us. So
so that
the
means real then.
parallel universe ties into that.
So that means time isn't man-made then, right? If that's the case.
Time would be man-made because time is only relative with a clock. They said time there runs in reverse, but what is time?
That's what I'm saying. So that means people have to be born with the Benjamin Button.
Yeah, that's what I was exactly about to say. And that would be
Again,
weird.
Yeah, you come out of old ass man.
And then grow in reverse.
Yeah.
but let's think about it though.
I'm gonna wait till I'm
But no,
gonna wait till you
you
get
got to think
look.
about what they're saying.
I'm gonna wait till you get about 100, then we can date.
Yeah,
Hey, but
you
if you
literally
think about
turn
what they're
back
saying
into
though,
a seed.
if you're thinking about what they're saying though, how would the first child have got here if there wasn't somebody older? When they said it ran in reverse, this is what they were saying.
If it come in reverse, then they had to come out the dust for real. They go
That's
from
what I'm
the
saying.
dust to a seed.
That's exactly what they
Right.
said.
Mm. All right, you guys are breaking my brain capacity.
But why would NASA even say that? Like that gets me, and nobody said anything. And like they proved this with their scientists. Allegedly, they flew a drone into the motherfucker. But excuse me for cussing, that's one time. But how did they fly a drone into it? Like, how does
Right.
this work?
And how would the battery life go with time going backwards?
Great question.
It should
But
appear
this,
they're already dead and start charging up.
Oh no, I don't think they said they flew a drone into it.
yeah,
I don't think that. I think they might have sent something, another type of device in there
yeah. Well,
because,
they sent a
be,
device into it, so I said drone. I could be wrong, but they sent a device
yeah,
into it. Yeah,
because I mean, if they saying that everything there time runs backwards, I mean that just then you have to ask your question: will a drone even work there? Like,
yeah.
will it just be what if it disassociated itself when it crossed over into there?
Well,
Because all the elements that's held together might be held together with something different.
and did y'all know what else I learned? The machines they got that Chris y'all infatuated with. A lot of their machines run off
Chris,
this thing called red mercury. Have y'all ever heard of it?
Yeah, yeah, I
yeah, I
heard of
heard of
red
that.
mercury.
I haven't heard a lot about red mercury ever, so I looked this up. But it's a lot of red mercury. I've heard other mercury. Reese, you ever heard of red mercury?
Nah.
Me either. Like, but that's what they said their machine is fueled off of.
Yeah,
I know every time they start using that thing, they go up in levels of shit that they find. And every time they find different shit, the next level is always we need more juice. We got to have more power. Like,
yeah.
who
That is
is
true.
telling them they need more power?
That is true.
Chris, what's your thoughts on this structure they found?
Who found it though?
NASA alongside the European Space Agency.
Europeans. Here we go. Colonization. 101.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I think we need to change our understanding of time. That's the first thing. We look at time as being linear when we should really understand that it's more cyclical.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is because it was only one piece of fiction that ever really piqued my interest and kind of told me I was on the right direction with the thought process, and it was Futurama.
I think I've seen a few episodes of that.
There was one episode where they had a time machine, right? And the professor said, you can't go back into the past because traveling to the past, in essence, is an oxymoron in terms of how time is. Because if I travel to the past, there's in effect my future, because that is the next thing that I did. So with that being said, in order for them to get back to the point in time they lost, they had to keep moving forward in time. And just like their hands on the clock, they went so far ahead that everything cycled back over and they arrived back where they needed to be. So I feel like if you look at it in that way, I just think the order of the cycle might be in reverse. I don't think it's as clear cut as how we look at past the present, or even being able to look back on time itself, like the devices that they have here that allegedly can do that. It's the same with your genetic memory. So they have devices where you can access genetic memories, meaning in my DNA, your DNA, you have your mom, your dad, their parents, great grandparents. You can trace all of that stuff back, right? So if you go back far enough, you would pretty much find the source of where you came from, genetics wise. They tried to do time travel experiments using that model, but I gotta remember the name of the movie. But basically, what I'm saying is, the reason you can't travel to the past and the reason it's an oxymoron is because if you went to the past while everybody else is moving forward in time at the present moment, there would be no past, if that makes sense. Because no one would be there at that point in time but you. You decided to go there. But whoever you were looking to meet there, whoever, they have already transcended in time. They moved beyond that point.
What if you did go back in time and what you interact with is an energetic imprint of that civilization?
When you say go back in time, how are we going back in time? We quantum leaping? That has a big impact on it. Because time travel we
can walk through a portal. We walk through a portal.
Yeah.
We walk through a Stargate. All right.
So what in that scenario that you just interacting with an energetic imprint of past civilization?
I would observe. Well, you can't observe anything without changing it, because even, that goes back to the whole double slit theory or experiment, excuse me.
So what if
that's a wild question.
What if it's solidified, like when like we go and observe it?
Now I'm saying inadvertently you gonna change something by you being there, because like they always say, this universe has a specific weight. It weighs, got like a certain weight to it. So if I appear from one time in this time, how can that weight still be balanced?
I heard that like our aura has a signature on it, and then they can read it. That's why you have to quantum leap back there. It's like they can tell.
it would effectively reverse things, because if I were to go back and they're like, where are you from? I'm from the future, which at that moment would become my past.
Mm.
I heard
Right.
What if they're
our
saying,
signatures,
what if
signatures
this,
tell it.
what if they're saying that they discovered a universal area where time travel is just prevalent like that?
Mm.
Cause
What
you
if
know,
people
Draw
from
said, Draw, they
what
said,
if people from that universe is here?
Right.
yeah.
How could
You
you
know,
know like
So
that? Like,
so
how
we're
could
gonna have so let's just table that for later on. We're going off the rails with this and get back to the topic, preparedness and safety in emergency situations.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and this is my opinion, uh, necessary, the essentials you should be prepping for and have just in case.
Mhm.
Um, I would recommend those who are on medication, instead of getting a 30-day supply of your medication, now get a 90-day supply
Mhm.
if it's available to you. If not, then request it from your medical physician. Um, I would also have uh, a first aid kit. Grab your
Yep.
first aid kit just in case. You never know. Um, Also, I would have measures in place that if I have to leave my dwelling, my house abruptly, I can grab everything quickly and be out of the house. Okay. I know Camp got some interesting stuff he wants to say, and followed by Reese and Keith in that order.
one question about the medication though. Now, what kind of event are we preparing for? Because if the grid goes down, we need to discuss this, and Camp needs to discuss this. I learned from the COVID thing, right? My neighbor died during COVID, and they ran out of insulin, man.
Yes, that too. I was gonna bring that up. I was thinking about that earlier.
So my
So
neighbor died.
I don't know how. I don't know. I'm
They
pretty
said
sure
COVID
people.
created a shortage.
Yeah. Also, bringing that up, if the grid goes down, the power goes down, you need something to keep that cool. So the possibility of accessing dry ice, that would be something you might want to prep. People who are diabetics need to look into is finding alternatives to keeping your medicine cool. But Camp, go ahead and put us up on some good information about prepping.
Um, with prepping, you want to have a basic foundation, and this what I mean by that is you start with nourishment, hydration, medication, and once you have those squared away, you kind of have a nucleus for how you want to prep. So as far as hydration and nutrition, canned goods, dry goods, um, a lot of distilled water, different different homeopathic basics like apple cider vinegar. In some cases, you want to have instant coffee. Instant coffee is good for a lot of things. I'm gonna touch on that in a little bit. But you want to have stuff that isn't going to tax your metabolism, but also keep you full and keep you operating at a good energy level. Because
Well,
it's hard to be natural, organic, gluten free, and all of that when it's a crisis going down. Like, let's be honest, sometimes you just got to eat. You got to have something, and it's got to keep you going. So you can start with like what size would that be? Is it a 50-gallon? I want to say 50-gallon Rubbermaid container. Stock it with canned goods, stuff that you're going to eat, stuff that you can open, like the ring lids, like the pineapples, the fruit cocktails, the Chef Boyardee, even some ramen and things like that. Stuff that can sustain you for a long period of time. It doesn't take a lot of heat or energy to cook. You can just kind of, okay, I can pop this open and it might be whatever, but I can eat it. First aid, like when you the first aid kits is real good. First aid kits, any first aid kits you get, you just want to make sure that you have astringents, you have antibacterial, antifungal stuff, neosporin, different sprays and things like that, some gauze. You don't really need a whole jump kit out here. You just need to be able to manage abrasions and cuts and anything that could happen that could deteriorate into a life-threatening condition. So you would be surprised with just having gauze and some tourniquets to do.
Mm.
And, tourniquet just like the big rubber ones. It don't have to be the ones with the twisties on them. You can just get the rubber band style tourniquets, and that'll help. Different cloths for splints, things like that. And really, I think this is something I'm going to have to get more documentation on as far as resources to pass out, because it's hard to trust the healthcare system nowadays. It's real flimsy right now. So being able to do as much self-maintenance as possible if something happens to you is good, because you don't want to have to be dependent on a hospital and you lose life or limb because a nurse is having a bad day and don't want to really be at work. And I've seen it happen a lot recently.
Wow.
I have to keep HIPAA and EMTALA in mind, but I watched the hospital kill somebody the other day. I just leave it at that. When we brought them there, they had every chance of living. So yeah, if you can self-medicate and heal yourself, I say, whether you with Tahuti, Dr. Sebi, y'all to get any, whatever your remedies are, start getting an abundance of them. Go to your health food stores. Some people get their tax money. Go and spend some bread at their health food store. Get you some of those black seed oils and some of those miracle remedies, because if you run out of pharmaceuticals, at least you have something.
Yeah.
Go to the general store. I know around Covington and other areas, you got Patrick's Feed Store. Start getting you some seeds. Stock up on some seeds, things like that. And
Great
really
idea. You was gonna address the instant coffee too.
Yeah. So instant coffee is good for a lot of things, because if you need to evacuate, because a lot of people and a lot of inflammation can be corrected just by you having a good bowel movement. So instant coffee will help you get this stuff out of you, help you flush that stuff out of you. And also, if you get like certain little bites of things, you can rub that instant coffee on there, and that'll help constrict those blood vessels around the area so that it doesn't circulate around your tissues as much. Having activated charcoal is another one. Activated charcoal, as far as insect bites and spider bites and stings, it will pull that venom out. And if you can't find actual activated charcoal, you can get the activated charcoal toothpaste. It'll have the same effect.
Okay.
But just it's little things we can do, because a lot of people are feeling powerless because you got all these entertainers. Yeah, I got this $30 million bunker. I got this $50 million bunker. I got all these machines. I got all of this. It's the little things. Like, you don't have to look at that and feel powerless. Oh, I don't have the budget to get this kind of bunker, but you can get a Rubbermaid container and get some canned goods and instant coffees and first aid kits and topical ointments and herbal stuff in there.
Yep.
Just for starters.
Yep. I agree. Reese, what do you have for us?
Well, I ain't gonna lie. Every single paycheck I get, I try to make sure grab me a case.
Yes,
I
sir.
see.
Every
I
single
see.
check I get a case.
Yes, sir.
And then like I I I bought like I got a gun that's like I got a 9, and I feel like that's like one of the popular calibers around here to where like if
What kind of
something
9?
go down, huh?
What kind of 9 you got?
I got a Glock.
That's good.
But I got it because like I figure I'd be able to find like 9mm bullets if I gotta scrounge some up. And the one I personally like to carry is like real. It's gonna real hard to find bullets, so I ain't really too much got to worry about nobody coming to steal my shit. But they'll steal anything. But yeah, I try to stock up on buy some bullets every time I get paid and lighters because, like I said, I've had reoccurring apocalyptic dreams for like it had to be like a 5-year span, and I kept having them and kept having them and kept having them because like as a child, my mom put me in Boy Scouts, and I think that she ended up doing that kind of for like a reason to get me ready for the world, so to speak. And in all those dreams, I would always use my little simple Boy Scout survival skills, and I always survived the situation. But it will always be a group of people with me or around me that were never that lucky. And I would be like, hey, you're not doing this? All right, fine, cool. And I end up leaving them behind and they always end up dying. But what made the reoccurring dream stop, the last dream that I had, instead of me trying to survive, I actually stopped and helped the other people survive. And after that, I just quit having a dream.
Oh.
So it's like I seen the thing like from the dreams I always needed was fire, and it would always help to have extra weapons. So I buy bullets.
All right. Keith. Now keep in
You
mind.
need an assault rifle.
Yeah, that's on my list next. I was looking for something with shoot 5.56 rounds. Ain't that pretty popular?
No. Don't get 5.56 or 7.62 because they ran out during the last pandemic. Remember, go
Okay,
get you some 6.5. You get 6.5s. This will knock a door off a goddamn Chevy Caprice. You know what I'm saying? This is a military grade. 6.5. I can show you how to make it in an hour and a half, bro. We can get everything online. We'll make your own firearm. It'll be a ghost gun, is what they call them. But 6.5 is the way to go because everybody has them in stock. 7.62s and 5.56, they ran out of them. Another one to go with is a 308. A 308 knock an elephant down. You know what I mean? 308's a good to have too.
is the 7.62? Is that those chopper bullets? AK?
Yeah, mainly
Damn,
AK-47.
I wanted an AK.
No, you make your own AK. You make your own AK.
Oh,
They
for
shoot,
real?
they shoot, yeah, they shoot 6.5s or 308s. Ask Chris, is what I got. That way you don't run out
I,
of ammo.
I don't want
All
to
you
be
do is change
like
the barrel.
I don't want to be like Ralphie on the Christmas story.
No. You make your own thing, bro. You make your own. It's easy, bro. It's real easy. Ask Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, you can 6.5, you can modify a better weapon with a better firing rate also, because when you start talking about NATO caliber rounds and people just not knowing gun maintenance for full automatics, you run into a lot of issues with jamming and weapon malfunction. But
Yeah.
I think
Seven
Tito
six
makes some
twos
pretty, yeah,
7.62s,
pretty
Reese,
efficient
are
stuff.
crowd suppression. 7.62 are crowd suppression bullets. They're not made to take down nothing. They're made to
Yeah,
sporadically spray. They're people for no aim.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
That's
don't
why you see a motherfucker shooting a chopper from behind the wall.
yeah, if we had a time to where like we can have automatic weapons, I'm pretty sure I won't want one because that seems like I'll be wasting some bullets.
Nah, I mean Chris has brought up a good point. I don't know why he brought up the UN or NATO or whatever, but they over here now, and if they got it, you're gonna need it. Like your Glock ain't gonna do nothing with them. Nothing. I mean, that's the harsh reality, man. Like they over here now. So I don't
This
know what's going on with that.
this is to the people that is going to be listening in the future. We're not doomed days people. We're not doom and gloom people. We just saying it's better to prep and have it than to need it and not have it. So it's the smart thing to do. Prep, you know, do what you can. If you can't do a lot, if you can do a lot, do what you can because maybe you can help others.
Yeah, there's a couple things I
Keith,
didn't get mentioned. I didn't get to speak.
Keith, I know you didn't get to speak, and I wanted to bring you on last because I wanted you to address being out in public and safety awareness and the necessary steps that people should take while they're out in public.
Yeah, I got you. But one thing I was gonna ask you. Remember, wasn't it you that told me that we're not supposed to be looking out the blinds or something? Somebody said on TV. Was that you or Doug?
It wasn't me.
Yeah, Doug said that he's seen on the news. Now I don't watch the news. Reese, Doug Brown. We all know Doug. This is my cousin. He said on the news they told him like keep your blinds closed and all this stuff. It's good for your eyes. Like we're not supposed to be looking at the sun. Like or something Doug was saying, bro. This is ludicrous to me. Like this is on the news. He said, yeah, it's on the news. And I said, I ain't never heard of this. And then so today we tried to call Reese when he was asking me about the Starlink internet. So allegedly there's this rumor going around that all the internet's gonna go down, but only Starlink internet's gonna be up. I don't know what this is about. But Doug said it costs $200. You know anything about that, Fierce?
Yeah, I remember Doug saying it. I've been knew about Starlink. It just, I think maybe the middle of last year came online,
Yeah.
or the beginning of last year. But yeah, I'm aware of Starlink. I have my own theories, but I'd rather not go into detail about
Well,
it right now.
I'm just only saying if the grid went down and we know it works, then this is what like I can't say I know it'll work because I don't know. I don't know enough about it if it does, but that's what they're alleging. That's what they're
I've been
alleging.
getting asked for it these last few days, and now that's why I asked you today. Have you heard of this? Because I've been getting these ads for this Starlink internet. It's like you buy
So
a piece of hardware like a satellite and connect to it.
yeah, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to have backup.
It's 200 a month.
Especially if you are in a rural area. From my understanding, it is pretty much covering everybody.
Yeah.
Um,
And Doug
but
says it goes wherever he goes with his devices.
oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
said they had it well, like if you got an RV, it'll work while you're moving.
Yeah. Yeah. Doug said go your devices can connect to it. You get like so many devices and you can pay extra for other devices. And that's what he said.
Um,
But
Keith,
I don't
yeah,
know.
address those public safety concerns that we should be aware about when we out and about.
All right, so I got to spaz out and go back to Alabama in the '80s. So my grandma says you need a older radio. It's would it be Reese? Would that be an analog radio?
Yeah. You could still. I think they're making smart. I think people are making analog radios. Probably go on. You can probably go on Amazon and find them like small little, not too expensive radios. But
All
that
right.
that would be great to have. Go ahead.
And this is why I'm bringing this up. So my grandma says if the grid goes down, Reese, how can you tune into the radio or the TV? They're both digital now. It will not pick up. You have to go analog. This is why I bring this up. Number one, she said. Number two, even a crank radio work if you have one. Number three, you need flashlights. You need candles on deck. You don't want to use all flashlights because you'll burn them out. You need candles. Remember, I come from Tornado Alley in Alabama, and so like my friend, he got swifted away one time on the playground. His mom like 3 miles away when we find him, and his little kids. We used to play on the playground, but I come from a different background. So I've been in 7 real tornadoes. This is E3 or better. I've been in 2 earthquakes, is for my old job where I used to work at. What's even more crazy, one of them was in Tennessee. It was in Tennessee, and on the Memphis side over there before. And I also was in Hurricane Andrew and Hurricane. I went in immediately after Hurricane Katrina, but I was in Hurricane Andrew because somebody put my name on the hurricane list. And I'm still mad to this day about because I didn't do that. So I get to experience a lot of things, and this is what people need to prepare for. It's not the storm that could be the problem. Let's just say something happened. It's the chaos and the aftermath that ensues. No stores open, and when people don't prepare, you need. This is the biggest things I've seen that people get killed over is baby formula, diapers, toilet paper. I don't. This ain't a debate. This is what I seen: toilet paper, baby items, and baby food. I like people got killed over these things, and then food in general. Um, One thing that I didn't hear mentioned was generators. I think generators are very, very important. And with generators, you need gas, gasoline. And with gasoline, what are you gonna put it in? Well, you could use a 5 gallon drum and you can put it in there and store it. You need to store it in the cool area, or else you're gonna have a bomb at your house. Um, you're gonna need gasoline or diesel for it. Because if something was to happen to the grid, which we're not saying it is or isn't, how is anyone gonna get fuel? This is a question. Another thing, if the grid goes down, just saying, this how's the grid going to come back up? The grid is not made to go down. It could take a year for the grid to come back up and running. This isn't like a power line being down or anything like that with solar storms or anything. If what they're alleging now about somebody hacking our grid and all this, they make it sound good in theory. But if this was to really happen, we could have a big problem on our hands. Our grid is the heart and soul of our lives. And when you sit back and you think about different things, what about my kids? What about this? What about that? I think the part that Reese don't know and Camp don't know is something that I do know. And this is a hard one to talk about. But did y'all know that in new executive order 130 is like 133B states, in the state of an emergency, your kids are no longer your property. They're the school's property. You cannot get them from the school. You are not allowed to take them from the school. You will not be allowed permission to get your kid. And a lot of people mentioned they weren't allowed to get their kids during COVID. And there's kids missing from the COVID era. It's 1,096 kids missing from Ohio in a 60-mile radius. It's 1,300 missing from Minnesota. It's 1,200 missing from Idaho. Idaho? Yeah. It's 2,000 something missing from California. When anything chaotic happens, more chaotic stuff occurs. I don't really know how to tell anyone to prepare for chaos, but the best way to be prepared, my grandma says, is proper preparation prevents poor performance. So prepare for the worst, the absolute worst, and hope for the best. And remember that laws are laws, and if you don't know the laws, you have no you are not legally allowed right now to take your kid from a school if they're up under any codes. That's code red, code green, code blue, code black, code orange, codes white, any codes you can. Even Reese's melee at the school he calls that time. You're not allowed to pick up any kids. Period.
All right, with
And I
that
think,
being said, though, all right, you know how like at your child's school, like let's say your child do something real bad, you can get charged for it. At one
yeah,
of those times to where you can't get your child, could you get charged for their action? Like if they on the lockdown and your child like nothing up to freak up and can't go home and hurt somebody, are you liable for that?
yeah.
The school now liable for that because they're not your child no more. It's the school child.
Yeah, but they hold you liable though, and only certain jurisdictions. It's a touchy thing, man. Like Auburn having a 10-13 on his record, and Camp can tell you, it's a CYA, bro. You know what CYA means, Reese?
Cover your assets.
Cover your ass. That's all they do, bro. That's all they do. And before it becomes their liability, they'll make it your liability. That's why they don't like them phones in the schools like that no more, bro. Because the kids can record everything.
Right.
Y'all remember when we used to have them tornadoes, they made us lay in the hallway, put our hands over our head, and we just thought that shit was gonna save us. That shit was just gonna prevent our spine going through our skull. We didn't know. We did not know. Bro, they weren't protecting us, bro. Now you got kids being out for everything. But at the end of the day, if it is a natural disaster, bro, like go back and look in Hawaii. Y'all know how many kids are missing in Hawaii, man? Honest to God, y'all know how many kids are missing in Hawaii?
A lot.
Thousands. Thousands, Reese.
Oh,
Thousands. And you know, and a natural disaster, bro, this is scary, bro. This is scary. Cause Reese, imagine you can't get your kid from the school. They won't let you in, bro.
Right. And then that
Literally,
think of 1,000 young children from Hawaii. What are the physical attributes of Hawaiian people? They really grow up to be big and strong.
yeah.
I don't think that was just a coincidence that 1,000 and they children.
Not just that, bro. They're spiritually in tune. You know, all the native dances they still got and all the native tongue and everything. That was
yeah.
once the kingdom of Hawaii. In the land of what's that? What's it called?
Mu.
Mu was there.
Lemuria.
Yeah, Lemuria too. Yeah.
So
Easter Island, all that was part of the kingdom of Hawaii.
speaking of natural disasters, to everybody listening, it's better to run drills at home,
Simulations.
run simulations outside of home, have safe words for your kids, for your wife, keywords to grab their attention. Uh, verify where the exits are when you're in a building. Just be vigilant. Because when you run through these scenarios, it's going to be chaos. It's going to be people around you who are going to act, and it's going to be chaotic because they didn't prep or they didn't run through these drills. They're going to
And
panic.
one other thing you need to add to that, Fears, is that other people, a lot of time, have already predetermined every outcome. And a lot of times, some chaotic events are chaotic because that person prepared for it to happen the way it did.
Right. So if you do take necessary steps and prep and go through these simulations and run a drills, you won't panic because it becomes second nature to you. You
Yes.
already done ran these scenarios to your head. And then hopefully maybe with you being calm and collective during an emergency situation, you can probably try to calm other people down who might not be prepared as you.
Yeah.
But
what Tino just said, like let's say all three of us just start prepping, and in mind, let's say we prepping for
a flood.
A flood. With us prepping like that, is that like our consciousness, like mass on the mass level? Could that manifest that flood if we
yeah,
all prepare for it?
Yeah, if it could possibly happen, it
That's
could
why you don't
because
prepare for any in particular thing.
yeah, but you still have to be prepared. Like,
Right.
You gotta be prepared. Yeah. You don't want to say just a flood, Reese. We want to prepare worst case scenarios, like a house fire. And we was in a
yep,
2-story house, my old house. I bought that damn fire ladder for my kids because I was scared. Like we had a fire, how the hell would they get out?
yep.
No.
Fires, wildfires, tornadoes, hurricanes,
No.
even a snowstorm can knock down a power grid.
I'm gonna tell you
Um,
one time, this wild pit bull, man. I don't know what the hell happened. It's a big pit bull too, boy. And it come in my yard and with my kids, and it scared the shit out of all of us. Because we don't know where it came. We just came back from Walmart, man, and it ran up on my kids. And you seen the alphabetical order they was in. But then I got on my oldest daughter's ass because she left the youngest son out there. We learned a lot that day. We learned a lot that day, Reach. And then so the next day, it was a dog called not the next day, but another time, it was a dog called a Akita. Man, I don't know if y'all ever seen one of these.
Those dogs aggressive.
God, it's so big.
Dog with the curly tail.
Yeah, the Akita is huge, bro. It's like it was made by the Giants or something. It ran up on us. And then so this time around, because I got on my daughter in the right way, this time around, everybody was safe but me. They locked dad out the house. And so, but they was all in the house. And at the end of the day, man, or you sometimes you need things like that to prepare. Right now, I think Reese, the most dangerous thing, and Camp can speak on this more than I can, is man, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'd be scared for my kids to go to events now, like a concert or a game. because they can't check everybody, man. And these were the people doing the mass shootings for no reason. Some of them are skidded. Some of them are just real. Some of them, like, we don't know why they did it, bro. They just do it.
That's ex-
You
that's
can't protect
exactly
that,
why
Reese.
that's exactly why we're having this conversation now, because like you said, I mean, these events and they're having shootings often there at, public events.
At churches
And
too now. At churches,
if
it ain't just.
you if you prep your kids and you prep yourself and run through scenarios and situations, um your kid will more or kids or you will more likely make it out alive.
Yeah, your wife too. You got to just have a conversation with them. Hey, if a shooter ran in and we was at church, what would you do? And because if you don't know what she's gonna do and you react the right way, she could put you in harm's way by accident. You
Yes.
have to have these conversations, man. And me and my
Yeah.
kids do. We got code signs for everything. If they don't feel comfortable around an adult, they'll say, "Hey, Reese, your friend said come over here." I don't got no friend, so I know what they're telling me right there. This is code. They don't trust them. Like different things. And like one time, my daughter was somewhere and she went in the room and she was like, "Dad, they make me feel uncomfortable." I said, "What do you mean?" These grown men talking about, I'm gonna be a problem when I get older. So I went over there what's his name on Fantastic Four that flamed on? I went in the house ready to fight everybody. I ain't lying. Every one of them. Cause ain't no grown man supposed to be saying that. But we in a world, bro, where nobody's safe, bro. Even
Yeah.
even even young men, young women, and like you said earlier, code words are very important. But the code words have to be discreet because a person can't know you're selling them out. You know what I mean? Another thing, people getting hijacked by these vans. That's something that we got to talk about too. Like, that's crazy. Because first of all, they
Yeah.
brought my ass back. They don't want me that long, but they might want somebody else, but not me. I'm not. I'm the wrong one for kidnapping. So where we going? But I don't know. Like, it's scary for our kids, Reese. It's scary for our kids, bro. And it's scary what
Yeah.
they can do to our kids at school right now. That's scary,
I
Reese.
I rather not think of this world as being that, and we would be having a peach and peaches and cream conversation, right? Everything's all good and lovely, but unfortunately, we live in this current society and world today that anything can happen, tragedies happen, but long as we prepare for them and take the necessary steps and measures to be vigilant and aware, and again, lives can be saved. We about to close in on the hour. If it's any closing statements y'all want to make.
Before I close, Reese, did you know now they can let boys wear girls' clothes in our schools now, and girls wear boy clothes? They can tell you can be whoever you want to be, even like, and the parents don't have to know nothing about it. Did you know that, Reese?
I
I
didn't
know
know
Kelly
about
knows
the
about it.
I didn't know about the parents not knowing about it, but I ain't gonna lie, my whole life it was little girls that wore boy clothes all throughout
No,
school.
but I'm saying they can make them wear them in the classroom for like play. Remember, we used to dress up for play, like for a play. They dress up now opposite sexes, bro, and say, if that's who you want to be, that's who you can be, and without the parents knowing, bro.
Yeah, that ain't.
What do you?
Mm-mm.
That let's move that to another podcast.
And then
That's a
did y'all
good
see what that
topic to
teacher
touch
was giving
on.
them kids them patches
Giving them
to go to
nicotine
sleep?
patches.
No, it's not some kind of patch to go to sleep. Some kind of melatonin patch. I never even
Oh, I
heard of it.
heard
It's sick.
about that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard about that.
like Fear said, nothing is safe in this world anymore, man.
Right.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think we did a great show. I think if anybody wants to prepare, this is our starter show for it. We'll go into more detail later, and we can add up on it. I didn't know we were going to go into that topic, but for anything, failure to prepare is preparing to fail. My grandma always said. So in life, whatever you're facing and whatever you're doing, just prepare, just practice. Whether it's court, whether it's school or anything, practice. Like, do simulations with yourself. You don't need a lot of other people. Research for yourself, see what you need, find yourself, find out what's your why, find out what it is that makes you happy. Me on the show with these guys right here, it gives me life. These are three of the most educated dudes I know, and me being the only comedian on the show is a lot of gratitude I get to have because I'm fun. They're all boring, and their life probably sucks without me. I'm the season to their chicken, so that's how it goes. And I'm happy here. Find y'all's happy space in life. Find your peace. Find something that you're passionate about and do it, but do it bigger. That's the whole purpose of life. This is all I got to say. Love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to get better. Just stay tuned. Watch what's coming.
Chris.
Yeah, I enjoyed the talk as always. Touched on a lot of interesting things. I think the next show will be a topic that I'm looking forward to as well, because a lot of the things that are occurring right now are occurring because people lack conviction and are just doing what they're told. And a lot of the problems we have come from the fact that people are just quote unquote doing their jobs. They don't stop to think about what they're doing and who it could affect, and they're scared to take a stand. And we need to move on from that, from being like that. If you're grown, be grown. This whatever you do and however you handle it.
Reese.
And don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask.
Right.
It's on you, Reese.
Well, I had a great time this weekend. I'm looking forward to next episode. As always, I had a wonderful time. And yes, make sure y'all prepare, not for anything in particular, but just stay ready. Because if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. But if you listening to me, go get you some bullets.
That right.
well
Bullets
said.
and lotion. Bullets and lotion.
Well said. Again, thank you guys for joining and giving us your ear. May those who have ears hear. May those who have eyes see. And come join us in the quantum.